How are we today, guys? It's Rebecca here from Pure Abundance Coaching. It's day 2. Can you believe it? This is so exciting. I am so energized about this challenge and about my group coaching at the end of this month. I actually stayed up really late last night just doing all funnels and doing all the information. Excuse my hair because I'm letting it dry naturally using this wonderful magic shampoo, and I'm letting it dry naturally. I was going to blow dry it, but I know that you guys are all human as well, and we're all in this together, right? So how are we going? Tell me if you are live. Tell me if you get on the replay. I'll give it a few minutes before I get into the nitty-gritty of day 2. But just to recap over day 1, say hi if you hop on. Just to recap over day 1. Hey, Emily, how are you? So day 1, we had a little assignment of doing your money mantra. You could make up your own money mantra. You could use one that you've heard before. You could hear, thanks, Andrea. You could, just do whatever you liked with that, but make it something that you felt good about, right? And then write it out 55 times. Physically write it out. We had a lovely little worksheet you could have, downloaded, and you could have been writing it out. And we're going to have little worksheets for each day as well. So, and some little tips on there as well. So different things for that. How did you go with that? Now, this is not a new concept, okay? Remember, I spoke yesterday about that dreaded word, I know, okay? And I will speak more about that today. This is not necessarily a new concept, but it is critical to take the action steps when you want to manifest money, when you want to manifest anything, okay? If we are truly honest, we need to take the aligned action steps. So that was a little task. It was a little task A, to get you to think about a money mantra, write it out, get into the vibration, but B, to see how committed you are, to see if you really want this, okay? Because the universe is going to know if you go, yeah, I'd like a bit of money, but I don't know. Or yeah, I'm going to sign up to this challenge, but I might not actually do the work. Hey, I understand that. I've done this before. I've signed up to challenges and not done the work, and I didn't get the results. So if you want the results, okay, I want you to allow yourself and just give yourself permission to commit to doing the work, okay? Just commit to doing it. It's 5 days, all right? Commit to doing the work, not for me, not for anyone else, but for you. It's going to be very powerful. Hey, how are we all going? Hey, Katrina. Hey, Beck. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Ronald. I'm just saying hello to everybody. Hey, Haley, Andrea, Emily. It's great to see you all on live. That's amazing. If you can like it and love it and all of that stuff, because it actually helps with the algorithms and helps the other people in the group be able to find it easier. You can go back and watch any of these videos anytime you like as well. A couple of quick housekeeping. So, firstly, if you want to be in the draw to win one of the 3 free scholarships for the group coaching course later on in the month, which is going to be really amazing, hey Ramona, then you need to do the work like we said yesterday. You need to, hey Jackie, how are you? You need to do the work. You need to be active. You need to engage. So comment, like, share, write out some stuff on Facebook. Post in the links, or post in the actual posts that we're going to put in here for day 2 and day 1 and all of that stuff. Share, like, if you know anyone that would love this challenge, that you think might need to know a little bit more about money because they're always sort of never having enough. Excellent. That's great. That's great, Debbie. Then add them to the challenge, okay? I'm going to keep this up. We know that this group, I always keep all the videos up. I make sure that everyone has all the information. If they really want to access it, it's there for them. So add them in. That's how you're going to getting into the draw for those free scholarships. But also, you must be signed up to our email list, okay? So I don't like to spam people, but what we do is we actually write out an email and then we put the video in the email so you've got it there all the time. But also, you want it because you want to win the scholarships, but also you might want to get in there because we're going to have some specials about lots of things going on in that emails and in the email list. So I know it's been a little bit of a kerfuffle sometimes getting on, and I understand this because I'm not a tech head. Andrea does the tech for me, and we try to work it out together. But if you can sign up to that email, it's going to be very beneficial for you. Let's just put it that way, okay? And we will have a link somewhere, probably in the day 2 one if you haven't already, all right? If you're getting emails from us, then I'm assuming you signed up, and that's great, especially if it says day 1 of the challenge and all of that stuff, the pre-challenge worksheets, that sort of thing. That means you're in there, okay? Okay, so we spoke yesterday about money and what it really is. And what did we discover? Money is just energy. It's a form of exchange, okay? It's what we put behind the meaning of money that gives it a good or a bad name. So some people have a really bad, some people believe that money is a bad thing and money is the root of all evil. Well, in fact, that was put out of context, because that saying was, or that quote was, money, the want of money is the root of all evil. Because again, if people are wanting money and they're thinking that money's going to do this and this and this for them, and it's all about the money, then that's when they start to get, I suppose, a little bit more on the dark side than the light side. Okay, when we start to understand that money's just energy, we need to actually get into the same energy as money in order to call it in. That's when it starts to become a bit different. And we also understand that money's not a bad thing, because money can do some amazing things for people and for everyone else in the world. Okay, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. We're going to decriminalize money. Okay, money is energy. Everything is energy. If we want to call it in, we've got to get into the vibration. What we're doing now is we are raising our awareness up about money, about the concept, about what it is, all of that stuff, right? And that just in itself raises your frequency and your vibration. So that's a great thing. We're going to raise our frequency and our vibration so that we can attract the money in, okay? We asked you to get clear yesterday about what you want to manifest. So I invited you to make a decision about what you wanted to manifest, even if it was just okay, which is similar to what they do in E Squared. I love that book. I said it yesterday. Okay, universe, you know, I'm going to ask for some money to come to me in any way. I'm just going to leave it open to you. Even if you ask that question, show me by the next 5 days, whether it be that you win $10, whether it be that you win $1,000, or you get a new client, or you get a job offer, or you get a raise. Any way it wants to come to you, we're not going to worry about the how. We just put it out there. Or you could ask for a specific amount, as long as it wasn't too far out of the field that you were going to go, I can't believe that's going to happen, because that energy will repel the manifestation. It just has to be something just a little bit, pushed a little bit past your comfort zone. Okay? So I hope that you got that. So the takeaway from that one. So I'm just checking that I've got all of those notes there. The biggest growth killer, I know. So if you've heard this before and you go, I already know this, I know this stuff, I'm not going to listen. Watch yourself there, okay? Stop yourself there. Become open and curious. That's what this day is all about. It's about being open and curious to what's really going on up here when it comes to money. Now, I'm not going to go into this too deeply, because honestly, I would be live on here for hours, because I love this subject. But obviously, we have a conscious and a subconscious brain. Our subconscious really is the supercomputer. Okay, the analogy of the computer is great, because the conscious mind can only, have up 7 things at once, like the front screen of a computer, right? But the subconscious is like the hard drive. It remembers every single thing, and the subconscious is where our beliefs lie. We can't access the subconscious from the conscious mind. Okay, it's just impossible. We can access it through muscle testing, like what I use, kinesiology and other things, but we can start to become aware of what the subconscious mind believes from answering a few questions, from being open and curious, and stopping and thinking about what's about to come out of our mouth, and then being aware of it. So I'm just going to check that I've got all of that day one stuff out the way. I'm going to invite you today to ask your reticular activating system, which is a little tiny processing bit that goes from your eyes. It's called the reticular activating system. What happens is, when you look at something, when you look at your reality, goes through a little filter in your mind, right? It's a little filter. It's from NLP. I should have grabbed the visual, but that's okay. I might find that visual for you and put it up somewhere soon. And what happens is, it goes through the filter of your mind. It goes through your beliefs. It goes through your experiences. It goes through what's actually happened to you in your life, and have you ever survived it, right? So even if you have been dead broke, you struggle for money, and you find that money's hard to come by, you hate people that have a lot of money, if you have survived, your subconscious mind is all about survival, then your subconscious mind is going to say, that's okay, because you still survived. But we don't want that. All right, so we're going to ask your reticular activating system to be aware of what you are saying, what you are seeing, and what you are doing. Okay, so today is all about being open and curious and asking the right questions. I'm actually we're going to do a worksheet for you with some of these questions on there. There's going to be some more questions you can ask as well. Okay, and I've got that written out here somewhere as well. Or did I put it down there? Either way. All right, let's go for it. So remember that money is just energy. Okay, it's made up of the same stuff as us. It may not have a conscious mind, but it is still consciousness, because that's what energy really is. Okay, and your consciousness, your subconscious beliefs and mind has a direct effect on the energy and consciousness and the appearance of money in your life. So we're going to become aware of what's going on up here. That's what today's all about, okay? So I want you to also think deeper about your why, and these questions are going to help you to get deeper into your why you really want money, what money is going to do for you, okay? What money actually means to you, okay? Do you have any beliefs that are coming up right now, like, oh, why are we talking about money? Money's so terrible. I hate talking about money. You know, if those types of things, if people asking you questions about money gets a bit icky, then I know you've got some subconscious limiting beliefs there that are really stopping you from being able to call it in. We are also going to give you permission today to call in and to make more money, okay? So ask yourself the questions. When something comes in and you go, I can't do that because, or this is not happening because, or I would love to, but this is, you know, that these circumstances don't allow me. Why is that? Because really, now that you understand you are pure energy, you are pure consciousness, at the root, at the middle of your core, you are made up of the exact same thing that everything in this whole universe is, and we are all connected, right? So if you're asking yourself these questions, it's not true. The universal truth, the universal law that I want to talk about today is the universal law of abundance. Okay, the universal law of abundance, and the spiritual truth is there is no lack. There is no lack. Okay, and you know this, and you've heard of this before, and I'm sure some of you may have read this book. Have you read this book? It's called Ask and It Is Given. Have you read that book? Okay, because a lot of The Secret, the movie The Secret, was actually based on that book. I mean, based on that book and those teachings. So if you haven't read that book or listened to the book, I'm a huge audible. I'm an audible person, so I listen a lot. My daughter doesn't let me read. If you haven't, we're going to put a link in there somewhere, and you're going to be able to access it. Okay, Ask and It Is Given. It is a great book by Abraham Hicks, or it was Esther and Jerry Hicks channeling Abraham, and basically what that book says is that there is no lack. This is an abundant universe. We live in an abundant universe. There is a universal law of abundance. Abundance is all around us. But remember that little filtering system, that little reticular activating system? We create our reality by what we perceive. We create what we see in our reality from our beliefs, from our experiences, from our childhood, from our programming. Okay? So there are always the opportunities and the circumstances to make more money, to become more abundant, to live the life you truly desire, once we open up our awareness, once we switch off and release all those blockages and start to change our beliefs. It's always there. There is a universal law of abundance. That is a spiritual truth. That is a fact. Just as much as the universal law of attraction, just as much as the universal law of vibration. So there is no lack. That is the number one law in the universe. There is no lack. Always, always abundance. Okay, so everything you ask for, because we know that there is always abundance, and we know that once we ask, it is always given. It is always given in the spiritual world, in the non-physical. Remember, and I hope you guys, if you haven't already seen it, went back and watched The Science Behind the Law of Attraction, because that will explain a lot more. So we have waves and we have particles, right? And once we ask, we've thought about it, and asking words, thoughts, that type of thing. Basically, in the non-physical world, it is given, and Abraham will call that the vortex. So once we ask for something, and let's face it, we've all asked for more money. At some stage, we've had a contrasting moment where we haven't been able to afford to pay for something, or we've really been, I don't have enough money, and then that subconsciously will send off that rocket of desire, that asking for more money. Oh, thanks, Andrea, for that link for the book. It's just in there now. Okay, so subconsciously, that's going to send off, and that's going to do the asking for you. And that is how asking is usually done, right? So we always ask in that way, and then we'll call it our vortex, because that's what Abraham calls it, and I like that word. In our vortex, it's already there. All we have to do is physically match the vibration of what's already into our vortex in order to manifest it into reality. Now, remember, time is an illusion. It's something that we made up here at time. It doesn't actually take that much time to manifest. In fact, people can manifest like this. Some people need a gestation period because that might be what their beliefs and what their subconscious mind needs to actually have it come into their lives. But really, it could take this long. It takes just as much energy to manifest $1 million as it does to manifest a cup. Right? Just so you know, it's just the same. It's ask and it is always given. It's just our beliefs and our filtering systems won't allow us to necessarily see the circumstances or the opportunities that are right in front of our face, right? So we need to start getting curious. Okay, so the mantra today is I am open and curious. Open and curious to the thoughts that come into your mind. Open and curious to the limiting thoughts and the limiting words that are coming out. I will speak more on lack languaging tomorrow, but today we're just going to open it up. We're going to be aware that we have a reticular activating system, that it has a filtering system, and really, I think scientists now, I don't know if this is exactly right, but it's about, scientists now think we see 3% of what is actually out there. Remember that your subconscious mind takes in 40 million bits of information in the very same second that your conscious mind can only take in 7 bits of information. So it filters out the 40 million bits of information and allows you to see 7 out of 40 million. So become open and aware, because you want to be open and aware to all the other bits of information that are out there, that are already there. Because remember, asking it is always given. So it may not manifest poof like that, okay? I'm sure there are some monks or, John of God or someone that can manifest that quickly. I'm absolutely sure of it. I'm sure it's possible because we know anything's possible. But for us mere mortals that are, still raising our vibrational level and still working on this, usually what will happen is once we become aware, it's not that the manifestation poofs into reality, like abracadabra, that would be amazing. But what happens is that it is always given to you in an opportunity or a circumstance or something that comes into your reality that you then take aligned action steps towards. Okay, so remember, manifestation is a melding of the non-physical and the physical steps. Okay, it doesn't just come to you like this. There are going to be some action steps to take, and that's why I asked you to do those action steps yesterday as well, to make sure that you're serious. The universe is going to know if you are serious. Okay, so be aware of that. Do the action steps. So when we open up and we become curious, we start to see different circumstances. They were always there, but we were not open to it. Okay, we were not aware of it because our reticular activating system said, hey, we don't need to know that because that's not really about safety, and it's not really I don't believe that money is easy to come by anyway, so we don't need to know it. That's what happens. So I remember a story, I can't remember which book this was out of, but it's a good story about a man that needed to, I'll improv this. A man that needed to, he always got a coffee on the way to work. That was it. He always stopped up at a Starbucks or whatever it was, his normal coffee thing. On the way to work, there's always a Starbucks. What happened was that Starbucks closed down. That was the only coffee shop he'd ever seen on his way to work, right? And he was like, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do? I have to go a whole new route to go to a coffee shop, blah, blah. And he was thinking about it, and he was putting it out there in the universe, and as he was doing that, on the very same way that he went to work, he noticed on the other side was another coffee shop. He had never seen it before. It had always been there, but his mind did not need to see it. Okay? He did not need to know about it until he then had the need to know about it, because his reticular activating would have seen it in the subconscious but never even filtered it and said, don't even need to know about that. It's not something that we ever see. It's like when you go out and buy a car and you think, I've never seen this car before, and you go and buy it and you drive it out of the car lot and all of a sudden there's cars everywhere. That's your reticular activating, all of a sudden being aware of it, and all of a sudden it's open to you. It's always been there. All of a sudden it's open to you. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to ask, and I want you to make clear to your reticular activating system that you want to be open and curious to any possible ways that these manifestations that you've asked for are going to come into your reality. Be open and curious to what is different. Be open and curious to the thoughts that come into your mind, all right? Because that's how it's going to change, all right? So Universal law of abundance, ask and it is always given. It is in the non-physical world, and we need to do some action steps, the aligned action steps, the things that feel really good. All right, this is where we get into our intuition and we go, I've never seen that before, but you know what? It feels really nice. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take that next step. Or all of a sudden you find yourself driving, to the left instead of to the right. I was driving, going a different way. And on the way, you notice that there's a big lotto drawer. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to win the lotto, but I'm just saying if it's something you don't normally do and it's come into your awareness, do it. That's your inspired thoughts, which of course inspired means in spirits, come straight from spirit into your mind, telling you that you need to do a certain step. Take the action steps, the aligned action steps, the ones that feel good. All right? I'm not saying you're going to win cross-eyed. I'm not saying you're not, because everything's possible, but I don't want people to get into that lotto phase where they go, I'm only going to get it through winnings. No. We don't want any, people to become gambling addicts from this. We just want people to understand that if it's feeling good, take the aligned steps. Okay? Hey, Donna, how you going? All right, so we're going to ask you some questions. In the sheet, you don't have to write this down, you can if you want, but it's in the sheet, it's going to say, the reasons, I want you to write down the reasons you deserve money. Okay, I want you to be open and curious to why you deserve money. All right, I want you to write down some beautiful things that have happened in the world due to money, some great things. Think about the, people that pay for, like, think about Oprah Winfrey, for example. She comes to my mind. Oh, sheets are up already. Okay, she comes to my mind straight away. Look at all the wonderful things she's been able to do because she went from zero to, a billionaire. She didn't have any. Look at her story. Look at her story if you want some inspiration. It is pretty amazing, and anyone can do it. She is no different to anyone else. She just decided she wanted something. She kept taking the action steps that took her there. And basically now she, how much money does she put into orphanages, into, women, and into children and all of that stuff over in Africa. There's so much she can do. Okay, so reasons you deserve money. What is some beautiful things that have happened in this world due to money? Okay. What can the money you want to manifest, or even in the future, what can that buy for you? What experiences can you buy with that money? Okay. How can you, being rich or manifesting more money, benefit others? Okay, because we want to make sure that we don't have that belief that it's greedy to want money, that if you have more money, you're taking it from someone else. That is not true. Remember the universal law of abundance. Remember, there is no lack. There is always enough to go around, always. Okay, so just be aware of that. The other thing to be aware of is that money is the energy of commitment, and money is the energy of transformation. Okay, because a lot of people, a lot of my clients actually, they'll hit a certain ceiling in their money manifestation, or they'll hit a ceiling in their job and they can't seem to get past it. And usually might be the $50,000 mark, the $100,000 mark, $250,000 mark. That's usually the ceilings that I find with a lot of my clients. Some of them obviously a lot more, depending on what they're doing, $1 million, whatever it might be. But whatever that ceiling is, they kind of get to that ceiling and that's where they get blocked, right? We need to have a transformation. We need to feel the fear. We need to go over it, because money is the energy of transformation and commitment. And that's why people pay money for coaching and pay money for services and pay money for these types of things. Because once you commit and you put your energy in, because remember, it's just energy, you put your energy, your money that you've earned into something else, that's actually going to have a transformational effect. That's going to actually have a commitment type of effect in our mind. It's kind of like when I first joined the gym. Like, if the gym was free, you just wouldn't go at all. I know that some people don't go anyway. But if you spent a lot of money on a gym membership, it's going to make you go because you're committed. Okay, it's the energy of transformation. Understand? That's what money is as well. It's an energy of commitment, an energy of transformation. So ask yourself these questions. Ask yourself any questions that come into your mind. I did have some more here. Let me just see what I did with them. The questions are really important because it's going to get you aware of what the programming is in your subconscious mind. I don't know what I did with them. Maybe I put them down here. Excuse me a moment. I was organized, I promise. Okay. No, that's not it. That's okay. So there's lots of other questions that are going to come up in the subconscious mind for you. There's lots of other beliefs. And if you do find a limiting belief, if you find yourself, I would love to, but I can't, because all of those types of things, that's usually a limiting belief behind that. Start to write those down too. That's a little tip for you. Start to write those little limiting beliefs down, what's actually holding you back, all right? Start to understand that when you pay for something, that's an energy of exchange, because it's money. It's just money is just energy. It's a form of exchange. But that money, when you're paying for something, is a commitment and a transformation. Okay? Those questions are going to be on the sheet for you. And now I want you to give yourself permission to make more money. Okay? Give yourself permission to make more money. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little, well, it's kind of like a prayer. I suppose it's almost like a command, all right? Almost like a prayer. And you can write this down if you want, but this is just a little exercise we're going to do together. And if we all can do it together, that would be really good. I'm going to do some abundance breaths, which I will actually write up. That's something we can do, Andrea, is write up some how to do abundance breaths together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you all, I'm going to invite you all now, just to take a moment, a little moment. We're not going to do a full meditation, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you just to get centered. Take some nice, slow, deep breaths. And I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. I would like the most benevolent outcome to give myself permission to become wealthy. I command my subconscious to be open and aware, my reticular activating system to be open and aware to my limitations, to what's going on around me, to open myself up to the opportunities and the circumstances that are going to allow me to bring in this money and this abundance. I command abundance and money to flow to me now. And so it is. Take in a nice abundant breath. So this time I want you to visualize just gold particles. Let's do gold. Visualize the gold particles coming in and filling every part of your body. Hold it in there. It's clearing out any of the negative stuff, any negative beliefs. And then breathe out any of the doubt. Take another nice, deep, abundant breath in. Visualize the gold particles coming in, and it's going to clean out every part of your body. It's going to get into every nook and cranny. It's going to call out anything that's hiding in there, any doubts, any disbelief. And it's going to bring straight out. One more abundance breath in. Breathe in all that prosperity, all that abundance. Breathe out all of the doubt. And so it is. A nice little exercise. You've now given yourself permission to make more money. You've now commanded your reticular activating system to become aware of the opportunities, the circumstances, the different beliefs and things that are coming up in the mind. Do the worksheet for number 2. Ask yourself the questions. Dig deeper into your why. What is the money going to do for you? What is the money going to do for your family? How is making more money going to impact you? How is it going to impact the rest of the world? How's it going to impact your family? Okay, start to think about those things, because money is not a bad thing. The more money you make, the more you are able to help others. That is the truth of the matter. Think about Oprah. Think about philanthropists like that. They always give back. That's another spiritual thing we will talk about later. Giving and receiving, it's all part of the flow of money. Money is just energy. Remember, we need to keep it in the flow. We need to draw it to us, and we need to stop hating on the money. Okay, so I hope that has been really good for you today, guys. That's day 2 of video done. Do the worksheet, do those abundance breaths, start to visualize all of that abundance coming in. You can breathe it in. Fill up every part of your body with all of that money, all of that abundance, all of that prosperity, and then breathe out all of the doubt. You can do that 2-3 times a day, as many times as you want to do a day. They're called abundance breaths. We used that in my Law of Attraction coaching course last year. It was great. And it's something that you can do anytime you like. Okay, so start to be open and curious. Start to write down if you do find a limiting belief. Okay, guys? I will speak to you all soon. Make sure you're signed up to the email. Make sure that you, do the work. Make sure that you're open and curious now. And anything that comes in, make sure that you, write it down. Tell us about it. Tell us about what's going on with you. Tell us about what you're loving. Tell us about what is making more sense to you. Get engaged. Share, like, comment, all of that stuff. Invite some more people in. The more people, the merrier. This energy that we're going to be able to use is going to help the manifestations come quicker. Okay, guys, have an amazing day. Thank you so very much. And I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.